Hello. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm going to slow my roll here for just a minute. If you're having a busy week, I know a lot of agents are getting full blown into their spring market as we are. And sometimes you just need to take a break. I like putting on lotion to slow my roll, right? And it's eucalyptus, so it smells so good. So take a moment to just breathe, okay? All right. We got 2 more chapters of the book for you today. Of course, the book is 101 Ways to Make Money in Real Estate. And today we're going to talk about the chapter title is Hustle. And the second one is lead gen. So 2 very good topics to talk about. All right. Now I did post in the group there a question, which has been tossed around a lot in our groups, but it always opens up a good conversation and gives some food for thought. And I like to think that hopefully, maybe a new agent might be inspired to do something different when they read this content. But what 97, I'm sorry, don't quote me on that. I believe the last one was 87% of our agents in this industry will fail in the first 5 years. Is it lack of hustle, right? Or is it lack of lead gen, right? I can promise you it's going to be one or the other, isn't it? And probably not their fault, okay? But we're going to dive deeper into this, and I'm going to give you my 2 cents for what it's worth, okay? All right, chapter number, 23 is hustle. Hustle. God, that's such a one. It's an overused term, hustle. I never liked the word hustle, I feel like if you're moving forward, you're probably considered hustling, right? Move forward with your business. Constantly have something to do. Obviously, you should have systems in place that take care of every task in the funnel. All right. So to me, that's hustling. I've never really been one for knocking on doors or cold calling and, having a very introvert personality, such as myself. And, I'm not a networker either. So there you have it. Networking is just not my forte. Some people can work a room like nobody's business, right? But that is not me. So I have always had to find different ways to hustle. And I think that, if agents would take a minute, I'm talking about a hot minute, to look at the whole overall picture about where business comes from. So even if you're an agent that's just starting out, I'm just going to talk generally here. Generally, most agents that are just starting out will look to their brokers to provide them with some leads, right? Leads. Okay. Where do you think those leads come from? I understand that you probably need to get your feet wet and figure everything out before you start focusing on really generating your own business. Hopefully you're reinvesting your early dollars back into your business to develop a system that allows you to generate the leads. Okay. If you would look at your broker's, funnel, right? Where does that business come in from? If you're looking to them for leads to be assigned to you, look to where those leads are coming from. Try and duplicate that process if you can. You have to start at some point, in my opinion, you have to start to learn how to generate your own business. Okay. And then of course, lead gen. If you're not generating leads on your own accord, then what, you're really, how does that make you feel? You're kind of just sitting there waiting for something to happen instead of making it happen. Okay. And then you think, okay, well, how do I make that happen? Right? How do I make that happen? Well, all the information is really out there, isn't it? How to make that happen, the logistics of it. are really out there for you to know how to make it happen. But what stops us all at that stage from taking that next step, right? Doesn't matter what level you're on. If you're looking at a new process, a new system, leveling up your business, what's that process look like for you? I mean, you have to seek some knowledge, right? You have to seek some knowledge. Preferably, you should tap into someone who has walked that path before you. Okay, so I want you to think about this weekend. What is the path or the course of action that business takes to get to you? And how can you have more control over that? If you look at corporations, they do that all the way down their supply chain, don't you? Don't they? I'm sorry. I don't know if you've ever noticed in a Walmart, they actually control their own boxes. They've figured out that there are so many boxes in the shipping process that they've developed their own boxes, and they repurpose the boxes. You have to look all the way down the line what you can do to make yourself different. Your business cards, what can you do to make that different than everybody else? Yes, there's electronic business cards these days as well. That's absolutely something you should be looking into too. But I'm talking about doing the mundane things that we do every day, like put a sign in the yard. How can you do that differently? Okay. You know what I'm saying? Just for a little trick. I mean, I thought this was genius. Instead of having a yard sale sign, have a QR code out there. Just put a QR code out there. If they want to know if it's for sale or rent, they're going to have to tap that QR code, aren't they? Right? That's just an idea I've seen in my market. I've seen one agent doing, and I thought that was pretty genius. So that's something you might want to try. That's going to be a little bit different. That's going to generate leads, but understand the strategy for generating leads, that everything that you do should have an element to capture the information, the consumer's information. Okay. I don't care what you're doing. If you're out there making TikTok videos, I hope that you've got a system in place that captures or retargets those video views. All right. There has to be some purpose for developing a video view audience. Okay. And having a following. It isn't just out there so that you can make more videos. Okay. What is the purpose of doing what you're doing? Right. What is the purpose? How can you drive that traffic to the next level of engaging with you? How are you taking them down your pipeline, right? What is the next step for them to do business with you? Do you have a link attached to every one of those videos and every piece of content you're putting out there? Okay. It is, if you're going to post, have a link, right? And just a personal note here. I know a lot of agents love to put in a whole stack of hashtags, and that's a popular thing to do. Well, I'm gonna tell you, it really does distract from your call to action. Okay. You don't really want people jumping on a hashtag and jumping to a whole thread of other posts using the same hashtag, do you? I don't want them jumping anywhere off of my post. If I have their eyes on my post, I want them to have my link, and that's the only option. So in my opinion, I don't know, if you have a bunch of options, they're going to choose to do nothing and scroll by because they're just going to see a bunch of hashtags. Even if you try and put the website link in there underneath it or what, one call to action, driving traffic to one funnel. Okay. Well, multiple funnels can come in the top, but as it works down the pipeline, you need to have mechanisms in place that are going to engage. Okay. And that's what I love to do, isn't it? I do love to do that. Okay. All right. So thank you for joining me today. And great. Thank you for hanging out. And if you've got any questions, of course, in replay, go ahead and dump them in the comments, of course. And that's it. Chapter 23 is hustle. Let's back up a little bit and talk more about hustling. We don't always feel like hustling, do we? We don't always feel like it. I don't feel like it today. Okay. To be honest with you, I don't feel like doing the hustle today. It was all I could do to put my hair and makeup together to get on the camera, a few minutes ago. Right. But I have a system in place that allows me to do without thinking. Okay. That's what your systems should do for you. Do without thinking, right? It's my thing to come here Fridays at 11 a.m. I can do this without thinking because I've laid out 101 ways to talk about this morning, right? To talk about it. So my content is laid out, right? So I don't have to think about that. That's my system. Okay? I've got an SOP for what happens after I finish my live today, and it's a system that's in place, and I can do it without thinking. Okay? When you've laid the path out in your business where you can do things that have to be done in your business that keep the needle moving. Okay? And it's the smallest things that keep the needle moving, really, honestly. When you're talking about your community, it's the smallest things that keep the engagement going. But if you don't have systems in place for that, they don't get done. They don't get done consistently, and they don't get done correctly. Okay? That's the bottom line. You're missing an element there. You're missing the lead capture. You're missing the retarget. You're missing, the know, like, and trust factor there. Okay. So that's a lot to absorb. It really is. But I want you to think about that when you look at your systems for your business. Okay. All right. And that'll help you when you don't feel like hustling. Your system's moving along. Think about this. What if you were to get sick and, maybe you didn't feel like working for a week or a month, or God forbid, 6 months? If you have systems in place that do all that heavy lifting for you, you can still have a business and not even leave your house. Okay. So, you have to think about how you want your business to look like in the next 5 to 10 years so that you can lay a path and that you're not a cog in someone's wheel 5 years from now. Okay? All right? That's the most important thing, that in 5 years from now, you're still not a cog in someone else's wheel. Okay? All right. Talk to you tomorrow. Or actually not tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you next Friday. Bye-bye.